G'day everyone, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for Friday the 10th of October. I'm Jackson, as always. Timecodes will be in the description if you want to jump ahead, all that stuff. This set's pretty good. I would go Woodworking, Destroying Ghosts, and Afflicting with Weapon Poisons, but everything here is kind of okay. I would personally just skip these, but it's your call. Yeah, I think these three, even on like a level 3 character, it's kind of easy doing them all. So I'll start with Woodworking. You can do weapon poisons while you do the other stuff. While you're killing ghosts, you can use light attacks and weapon skills to apply poisons there. While you're killing enemies with Scribed skills, there are weapon-based Scribed skills that you can use. So that is also another thing. And I guess you can also use them while you try and kill a player, but you'll kill a player and you'll do ghosts much before you get the weapon poisons done. Enemies with Scribed skills, a bit in the air. Alright, so I'll start with Woodworking, because this is kind of the one you have to do, like, kind of aside on its own. So the absolute bare minimum that you need to get this done is through 4 staves or bows. They cost 3 sanded maple each and a star material. You can do shields, but it's twice as expensive. There's no point getting 15 shields for twice as many maple, you know. So if you need star materials, these are easy to get. Basically, anywhere you find a woodworking station, you'll also find a carpenter. So this one, for example, you go into the store and then you'll see all the star materials that are relevant for all the different races. So for example, I can use moonstone here. So you just grab some of those for 15 gold each. And then maple, you can either buy them from guild stores, which is probably going to be the quicker option for woodworking materials in the guild stores. You just look up woodworking under materials and the material here. Now there's nothing here at the moment, but yeah, you can just check it there. And here's a guild stores out there you can check, right? Now, if you don't have gold nor maple, you can go and source some yourself. So, if anyone watched yesterday's video, it's essentially the same thing, except you have to craft as well as deconstruct. So in this case, I'm just going to go grab these shields here. Now, you want to be stealth for these. Unfortunately, unlike yesterday, you kind of need stolen stuff. I find if you pick up stuff that isn't stolen, it doesn't give you anywhere near as many materials. So go stolen stuff. And so yeah, this is like Volkagard and Addon. I think this is probably the best place, just Addon in general, just for getting lots of wood items. I'll show you 2 places. This is the easy to reach and easy to use place. Even at level 3, like starting a new character, it's pretty easy not to get spotted here. You just have to make sure you hide behind people when you go and loot stuff. This shield here, you can actually just steal it right in front of this person. Yeah, they apparently don't have eyes, or they're blind or something, which is weird considering they're a blacksmith and a crafter and all that stuff. Just here, while this person's turned around, you can actually take these without getting a bounty, so long as she's not looking at you. I would still suggest going stealth though, just in case. Yeah, getting a bounty isn't great, but you know, it's not a big deal if you get a bounty anyway, because you know the guards don't chase you like they do in Oblivion and Skyrim and shit. All right, so the third place you can look for stuff is in here. This is Brightsteel Armory, just down the road. So again, you just go stealth, go into the corners here to make sure you line of sight away, and then over here. Now this is the bit that will be a bit dependent on the locations of these 2 NPCs, but you can go into this corner when they're in these kinds of places. And then this one here, you can actually go behind this guy and steal the stuff, unless he turns around and starts walking. Just wait for these guys to stop moving, and then take the stuff. So right now I have to make sure I'm over here. I'll take these now, that's good. There's a couple of items in other places. You've got a couple of staves in Starfall Arcana as well, but that's like the easy stuff to get. The other stuff's kind of annoying because there's people walking around watching. And then you just go to the woodworking station, just go to all the items that you stole and deconstruct them. And you'll get a bunch of woodworking materials. Now, the only issue is if you do want to use maple for this, you do want to use a low level character, because the stuff that you steal will be at your level. So if you don't have any woodworking at all, you can't use it. So either do this on a level 3 or do this on a crafter that you're able to craft at that level. So just be aware of that. Now the other thing obviously is writs. So if you've got access to writs, and you know how to do them, that'd be great. There are like so many guides out there for explaining writs. They explain them faster than I can and better, so I suggest you look at some of those. But yeah, writs are great because you can get things like, you get Rosen, which is the one of the, I think this is one of the more important gold materials in the game, because weapons are the most important upgrade materials, and they're cheaper, but they're still valuable. I use them all the time, so yeah. Like all the gold materials are great, but that's one of the ones I use more. The best hoard in the game for getting a bunch of stolen woodworking items, as far as I'm aware, if you have Cloak, or if you don't give a shit about getting huge bounties, you can use this place here. Now, with Cloak, you need the morph of Shadowy Disguise. The regular version of Shadow Cloak doesn't work, so this is a Nightblade skill. Once you've got this morph, if you go invisible, you can just steal everything here at no cost. Just make sure you don't talk to the guy by accident, because, yeah, it'll pull you out of stealth. Everything else is good. Just grab everything here, and yeah, you can just see there's so many items here. And that's not even everything. Like, if you go over here, there's shields over here. Again, get on them. There we go. Shield. I think there's nothing there. Oh yeah, there's a couple more staves over here too. These ones. I grab them, and then the woodworking station is over here. And there's a chance you'll get some style materials for doing this too. So, oh god, I barely do it. Yeah, so I got an adamantite there. So that's, yeah. That's a great place for doing this one as well. Alright, now let's talk about picking enemies with weapon poisons. So, poisons, it is actually good, because in the monthly reward this month we got some crown lethal poisons on the first day, so everybody should actually have access to some crown lethal poisons somewhere. So to apply these things effectively, you chuck them on the bar which you tend to be on the most, and then so if you read the poison, it'll tell you in the tooltip that it's 20% of light attacks, heavy attacks, and weapon abilities. I would personally say the quickest way to apply it over and over is to use an AoE weapon skill, for example, Unstable Wall, like a Spamble active skill, or like a skill that pulses all the time, and then hit a bunch of targets all at the same time. Because 20% chance to hit all those people to apply poison, it's usually going to apply just from a single hit or two. Other than that, you can also just heavy attack a target skeleton or target dummy, either with the lightning staff or with dual wield. Either of these options are good, because lightning staff, it ticks a bunch of times through the whole channel. So you can see there's a bunch of different parts of the damage, and all those sections of damage can actually apply the poison. The thing that's going to make this take like a little bit of time, you can't just apply them all at once, is there's a 10-second cooldown between poison uses. And this is like global. So you can't put two different poisons on and use them both separately. They share the same cooldown, which is annoying, but yeah, unfortunately that's the way poisons work in this game. So just stick poisons on one bar and just do that. Now there is something I want to talk about, which is it's called Click Lock. Now you can use Do It as well, because while it doesn't hit as many times in a whole channel, when you do it, it hits twice, and both of those hits will count as a chance to apply the poison. So if I can just keep trying. Yeah, there we go. So again, that's another way. This is it. If you go into your where's it? So bring up mouse settings. I mean, on controller you can do this too, just by, I don't know, sticky taping the R2 button or whatever the right trigger, I think it is, for light and heavy attacks. And you can do the same thing, I guess. But you want to go advanced, additional mouse settings, this one here, and then Click Lock, this thing here. Just turn that on and apply. Keep the window open so you can disable it afterwards. But now, if you hold the left mouse button down and then let go, it will continue to heavy attack for you. And what this means is you can just AFK for like a couple of minutes, get yourself a coffee or, feed your cat or some shit while this happens, and then probably by the time we get back, this endeavor is going to be done. So that's another thing you can do. Yeah, definitely get a lightning staff if you can, because they'll be the quickest generally. And then when you want to turn it off, just turn off quick lock, apply, and then close that, and that's it. Now, if you just want to use actual weapon skills, you can also just put down an AoE spamble skill and just keep applying it, and that actually tends to apply it very quick. It's just, again, you just have to wait for the cooldown, so let's wait for it here. And then now. And there we go, you can see it fired again. So that's also pretty damn good. Now this add-on here, it's called Poison Tracker. It's a bit finicky, and you need to sort of fix it when you download it first time. But this is really good. As far as I'm aware, it only really works properly with the crown lethal poisons, but honestly, man, this is the most common poison that you're going to get by miles. This shit just comes up, like, you constantly get them through the through the monthly rewards. And there's also other poisons too. I think these ones here, they can glitch with the add-on, but yeah, just crown lethal poisons is fine. And it's not a big deal, you just have to wait 10 seconds between them. Yeah, you'll get these things constantly. Just stack them up on a single character whenever you get them, and just have them aside for whenever these endeavors come up. Now, because these weapon skills can work, there are 6 scribing skills that are weapon-based. So these can actually apply poisons. I'm just going to say right now, the only 2 I would personally bother with are Elemental Explosion and Traveling Knife. And Elemental Explosion is great because it's huge. The AoE is massive. So it can hit tons of things at once, and it just pretty much guarantees a proc of a poison. Traveling Knife is good too because it's instant cast. This is a 2-second channel time, so it's kind of painful, especially if you get stunned, because it stops it and you have to wait a bit before you can cast it again. Traveling Knife doesn't have that issue. But Traveling Knife, you kind of need multi-target for it to be effective. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, you've also got Smash's AoE, but cast time and the area is kind of wonky. Or like, it's like a conal area in front of you, and then Vault keeps moving you around all the time. So yeah, this one's weird to me. Yeah, you can use these too, but only these 6 work. And Mender's Bond, I'm pretty sure this doesn't actually have a healing variation. Oh, sorry, a damage variation. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this works? That's weird. I don't know how this would work properly, but that would be interesting, because it's basically yeah, I guess you could try that, because it'd be basically AFK as well. I don't know. Try that if you want, but I wouldn't bother. There's easier options. Yeah, while you do your ghosts and your defeating enemies scribe skills, maybe even your players, you could just apply your weapon poisons at the same time. Because yeah, there's most cases you're going to be using those sorts of skills in those environments. Let's go find some ghosts. We want to go to Stonefall, Davon's Watch. The way shrine that you start with. Alright, so these spectres here are a great option for ghosts, and that I would personally go for. So just group up all these enemies in Starved Plain. There's lots of ghosts all over the place. This is Starved Plain. They're just next to a way shrine that you start with by default. So this area here. Now this isn't the only place, but it's the easiest by far to reach. So yeah, just come to this way shrine. Some other good options in Addon. You've got Cyrodiil over here. This place has tons of ghosts too. You've got Esduin over here. This has ghosts all over the shop as well. Those are the 3 locations I would personally go for. Because, yeah, there's fucking heaps of spectres over here. And usually, even though people tend to come through here and kill them all super constantly, they tend to respawn pretty quick. Yeah, try Cyrodiil if you can't find anyone else. Also, I will mention Betnik. This has ghosts as well. In Moricelli, all around Moricelli here, you'll also find them. Yeah, lots of good, easy places to find ghosts. And while you do this, just make sure you apply your poisons while you use your destruction, or your weapon skills. Defeating enemies with scribe skills. So there's 40 enemies, is quite a bit for a daily. But anyway, so with this one, you've got 2 good options, I think. You've got either just doing basically the same thing as with poisons, using AoE to mass kill a bunch of enemies quick, or to just kill critters. Critters is actually another good way. So with critters, you just need a single skill. Doesn't matter how much damage it deals, because the critters have 1 HP. So even if you're level 3, as long as you've got a scribe skill, you're good. So the easiest one to get is Magical Soul. If you complete the second era of scribing, the very first quest in the scribing quest line, takes like 5 minutes usually. you'll get this skill, and that's all you need for the critters version. Now, I've found out that it depends. If you've got Gold Road, the quest will be you can start it from here, from the Mages Guild. As far as I'm aware, on you can go to the capitals of your base game zones if you don't have Gold Road. So, for example, Ebonheart Pact, the dude shows up here with the quest. I don't know where he is for the other two places, but I know now that you can actually do this in base game for sure. You can access it via there. Now, with Healing Soul, Magical Soul, just chuck it on your bar. I'll swap it with that. And just hit critters, and each critter that you kill will count as 1 for the Endeavor. So that's one option for you. The only problem is, you can also use actual enemies, but it will take a little bit longer, because, yeah, they have a lot more health. But there are a couple of good places for this. The only problem is that this is an overland area, so if I come through and do this, if someone else wants to do the same thing, all these fighters are going to be dead now because I've killed them all. So yeah, just be aware of that. So in that case, just be aware of the different areas which have a lot of critters in them. So this is Davon's Fine Steeds. It's this area over here. So after you do your ghost, you can come over here and kill a bunch of these things. So yeah, just out here. This Wayshrine you start with by default, so it's really easy to reach. The other good option is over here, Monkey's Rest. There are, as you would believe it, a shit ton of monkeys here. Little monkeys with 1 HP. So you can do the same thing here, just kill those. There's about 20 as well here, or 30. You'll find, like, some of them will be on the boulders, like, around the outskirts of the house. So, yeah, just check up on, like, trees and shit as well. They tend to be out there as well. Another good option is Divad's Chagrin in Alikir Desert. Over here. Getting access with this, you want home tours, so you can use House of the Silent Magnifico or Sisters of the Sands. If you want to know more about home tours, I'll have the tutorial video in the description. Just check that out if you want to learn how that stuff works. But yeah, you can use it, just teleport straight here and get it quicker. So yeah, this area here, there's lots of mountain goats that you can kill. And again, 1 HP, really easy to kill. There are other places. You can get an instance version of critters in Whitegold Tower. There's actually a bunch of critters in the first area where you accept the quest. There's like Daydrats and Scuttlers and shit, and you can kill them, and they count as critters too. So yeah. Now, if you want to do this with AoE skills, my advice would be try to use weapon skills if you can until your poisons are done, and then just whatever you can get. So I'll show you a typical build running a lot of AoE weapon skills, and my advice: do a dungeon if possible. If not, do public dungeons. The only reason I suggest group dungeons over public dungeons is it's instanced, so you're not waiting. Someone can come through in a public dungeon and do the same thing as the critters, kill them all, and you're waiting for shit to spawn, and it can just waste your time. It's your call though. Dungeons, public, group, they're all pretty good. Alright, here's an example of a character with a bunch of scribing skills chucked together to get a bunch of these skills quick. So I'm going to use Wayrestlers 1 here. Again, home tours is the easiest way to get here if you don't have this unlocked. You can travel to this via Wayshrine if you have it unlocked. But yeah, if not, just use Garden House through home tours. It's really easy to get here from that point. And then I'm using Trample, I'm using Contingency, I'm using Burst, and then I'm using Shocking Explosion, which is a weapon skill. So I just need one more Poison. So I'm just going to chuck on my Poison real quick, and then basically the first hit I get will essentially be a Poison Appliance. Alright, so I'm just going to group these enemies together. Now bear in mind, a lot of Scribe skills tend to have little healing on them, unless you use a focus that gives healing, and in that case it does very little damage. So there is a basically use Vigor, or there's a scribing signature that you can use to make it easier too. Alright, got everything together. Trample. And then Destruction Staff. Burst. Burst. Yeah. And yeah, you can see I've got about 20 there. So there's 21 skivs in this room in total. So the group over there, the group here when you walk in, group over there, and then the group here. There are crocodiles in the water. I don't really suggest bothering with them because they have a lot of health, and everything else in here dies so much faster. Not worth bothering with because there's way more in the other room. So if you want to get a bit more healing going, Vigor is usually enough. You just have to cast it every now and then. But with scribing skills, you can get there's two things, right? There's the heal, but this takes the damage part away, so I don't like using that. But you can use Sage's Remedy, because this if you use Sage's Remedy on 4 skills, it's basically like 2k healing every second, which is a lot when you think about it. That's basically Surge all the time. And it critically strikes too, so it heals you more. This can make it a lot easier to deal with when you're just trying to stay alive, doing this at the same time. You can also use Lingering Torment though, because this does count as skills as Scribe skills. Assassin's Misery doesn't. Keep that in mind, and Class Mastery doesn't either. So try not to use those, if possible. Yeah, so again, in here, I'm just going to go down, skip the boss because they have too much HP. This is the room we want, because there's a big group of enemies here. So I'll just go into the hallway here. What I'm doing is forcing all the ranged enemies to basically stay in one location, and then I'll just AoE everything down in this small location here. So, Contingency, Destruction Staff, Careful, I should probably heal, yeah. Destruction Staff, and then I'll just use a Burst. That's it, and then I need one more, so I'll just go down, pull these guys. So there's enough enemies over here too that you can use. I just come down here and skip them though, yeah. Just want to kill these guys, that's all I need. Okay, there we go, all done. Yeah, if you want to kill these guys too, there's what I would do is come up the stairs, just do the same thing as you did before, where you like force all the ranged enemies to come to you, essentially. Because the ranged enemies are the ones that you will like run away from you. The melee enemies always chase you, so you might as well stick on the ranged enemies because everything else is easy to deal with. Probably the best public dungeons for this. Malabar Tour's Crimson Cove, awesome. There's so many Imperials in here in such small areas that just unbelievable how many enemies you can kill. Same thing with Reaper's March in Vile Manse. There's shit tons of Imperial enemies in here. Another good option is the Rift. Lion's Den. I always call it Crosswood for some reason. Yeah, Lion's Den is great. There's lots of Covenant soldiers in there. Riven Spire, Obsidian Scar, lots of orc enemies just like in small groups. Like the rooms are very small, so they just stack up heaps. So yeah, those kinds of places can get you lots of kills quickly too. But yeah, they're overland, so other people will have those areas too. So you might find you'll just go in there and everything will be dead. Yeah, just make sure you keep in mind that the last hit is all that matters. So whatever takes the enemies from 1 HP to 0, that is what counts as defeating the enemies there. So even if you do 99% damage with a Scribe skill, but a status effect takes the last hit, it won't count. So you just want to avoid using anything else but Scribe skills if possible. Okay, killing a player in Cyrodiil. Now, the good thing about this one is you don't actually have to kill them. As long as you have done something to hurt them, and then they die, it counts. So basically, if you're fighting someone and then something else kills them, and you see at the bottom right here, there's like a little alliance points value there. It's just like XP or gold, like getting gold, you know, that stuff. If you see that, and it's not related to like capturing a keep or something, you will likely get this done, because even if it's, so say you like hit a player with like a couple of light attacks, they just heal through it, or even health recovery gets them back up to full. If something else then kills them, like they take a bunch of siege damage, it still counts. So assists count for this. Keep that in mind. So you don't actually have to, don't worry about trying to actually get a kill on someone. It doesn't matter as long as you have helped in some way. So even if there's like 10 of you, there's one enemy and you all just gang up on them at the same time, as long as you all deal some amount of damage, it'll work. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now there's two things I suggest you do. One is to basically just follow a big group around with a restoration staff or a lightning staff. The reason for this is lightning staves, when you, oh yeah, sorry, let me do this one here. So when you use a lightning staff heavy attack, when you hold it down, it generates a beam between you and the target, and it just deals constant, or like gradual damage over time. And it's, unless the player is roll dodging, they are taking damage from it. And yeah, it takes players a lot of resources to roll dodge a bunch of times to avoid it. So that is one thing you can do. The other thing is Restoration Stars. For the same reason, except instead of holding it down, you spam left click to light attack. It's the same thing basically. The light attacks are basically a beam. It just goes straight to the target. As opposed to ice or inferno staves or bows, which the projectile tends to take a lot longer to get to the target. So keep that in mind. So that little bit of damage usually will be enough if the player dies. Yeah, you just have to... That's why I mean stay with a group. Just mind you, this is. I'm assuming this is for people who don't know how to PvP much, because I guarantee if you know how to PvP, not watching this fucking video. So yeah, I'm just making that assumption. Also, if you do want to do this, just be aware that if you go into Cyrodiil with a PvE build with like 17,000 health, no crit resistance or base crit resistance, you're gonna get absolutely fucking wrecked, because enemies crit in this place, and if you don't have any critical resistance to help against that, you die very quickly. And if you don't have much health, you need a lot more health to be able to react to stuff quickly, unless you're really good at this game, really good at PvP. So yeah, my advice: bump your health up to about 30,000. Unless you run with a really big group, in which case it doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, crit resistance, more health. Focus on burst damage, not gradual damage. It's totally different from PvE. So focus on doing as much damage in a short period of time as possible, because that's how players work in this place. It's as opposed to bosses where they don't heal at all, but they have a lot of health and they stay still. Players, they don't have much health, but they heal a lot and they move around a lot. So burst damage is key in this place. Also, the other option is siege. So if you say this heat becomes under attack and you're there, go to the wall, assuming there's enough people to defend it. Go to the wall, get yourself a ballista, chuck it on the ground, aim it at some enemies that you can see, particularly ones that are close to your allies. Shoot them, and if they get into a fight with your allies and the allies kill them, the flame damage will allow you to get the assist on them, and that will also count as killing a player in Cyrodiil. Also, siege is fucking good in this game. Like, it's really strong if you use it correctly, especially oils. Do I have any flaming oils on me? Yeah, I do. These things here. You see enemies at the front door, putting a battering ram down or something. Chuck a couple of these on the floor through either on the sides or through like the mesh gate above where the gate door is at a keep, and a couple of these at the same time on a group that's not organized. 4 groups you can't really do anything about. That's a different issue. But yeah, flaming oil fucking wreck people. It does so much damage if you can, especially if you can time it with someone else and dump a bunch of them at once. It deals ridiculous amounts of damage. You can easily, with no skill involved, just chuck a couple of these on the floor, dump them down, and this is probably the easiest way to kill a player in this game if they're not ready for it. And yeah, just be aware of the methods of survival. Moving is very important in PvP, not staying still. Enemies can't deal damage to you if they can't hit you, right? So that's arguably one of the most important survival skills in PvP. So things that can increase your speed, really good. Also, line of sight. If enemies can't hit you, they can't damage you. Use line of sight, especially on enemies with ranged attacks, to avoid stuff. Roll dodging, very important. Blocking, very important. If you see a dude coming at you and he's got a two-hander and he's winding up a wrecking blow, block. If you see some runes around your feet, you're about to get by a meteor, just block. Stop the stun, stop a lot of the damage. Makes it much easier to stay alive. And yeah, stay with the group. Constantly keep stuff like vigor on yourself. Have lots of heals, have lots of buffs. And honestly, you only need a few damage skills to kill someone in this place, even with like lots of health. Obviously, it depends on the player, but most people, you can kill them with just a few skills. Some sets to use if you're not too well versed. Order's Wrath is a crafted set that works okay here. I know I said you want a lot of crit resistance. This is kind of why people tend to use Order's Wrath a lot, and other sets that do a lot of crit damage. But this is just an easy one to get and use. And then Rallying Cry is a great set on your own, but just be aware of how many people around are getting the buff, because the more people around you getting the buff, the more diminished it becomes. Transmutation is also another really good set. I don't know how well it is, or how easy it is to buy these days, though. But just gives people you heal a shit ton of crit resistance. So you can just heal people and make it harder for them to die, which is great. Because it gives you a better chance of actually having someone else kill someone. And if push comes to shove, just use Impregnable Armor. Because all it does is gives you some stats and gives you some crit resistance. Easy to use, not the greatest, but yeah, very simple. And still good. Still okay. Alright, I'll leave it there. Have any questions for me about any of this stuff, just give me a holler as always. But thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time. Golden Vendor will be up tomorrow as well. That'll be at the end of tomorrow's video. Take care. I'll see you next time.